The Run is a 2022 release horror psychological thriller film, and the film just opens with the introduction of the character of Diane Sherman in a hospital, and she is just cuddling her premature newborn daughter, that is Cole, who is just born under very dire circumstances. And a series of text just overlays informs the audience about Cole's multiple medical condition. That is, she's just suffering from diseases like arrhythmia, diabetes, paralysis, and even asthma. So the emotional weight of the opening, I think, just sets the stage for a story that appears at a very first glance to be about the length a mother goes to care for a child, because that is the primary responsibility of the mother. And if the child is, I mean, not in very good condition, if the child is suffering from some disease, then it's very difficult for even mother to take care and just add a emotional burden weight on herself. And this early scene just establishes Diane as a dedicated mother, just willing to sacrifice her own needs for Cole. And Cole life just appears structured, but it is just heavily reliant on her mother's assistance because she needs help. Yeah, their home filled with medical supplies and homeschooling material that just reflects an very kind of a, you see, the isolated and yet seemingly nurturing environment that she just need, because she needs her mother assistance for everything. Cut to 17 years later, that Cole now becomes a teenager, and she's on wheelchair. Actually, she's wheelchair bound and homeschooled by Diane herself. The life just seems loving, though it is isolated from others, because that is all take place in her home alone with her wheelchair on. And Diane just meticulously oversees Cole's daily routines, from her education to her medication. And Cole Linton is a very bright and very ambitious student, very courageful student, always waiting to hear back from her college admissions offices. And the mother-daughter bond just seems unbreakable, but it soon begins to just cracks as the story just begins to forward and unfold something that are not very happening to Cole, because here the actually the things takes a very sinister turn when Cole finds a prescription bottle that is just labels with the Diane's name, and the medication is actually here trigoxin. It is supposedly for Diane, but Cole just becomes suspicious and kind of having doubt about the things, and then she just begins to research more and more about the drug to get information about it. However, she discovers that Diane had just restricted internet access on their home computer, so making Cole very difficult to find the information regarding the drug she was looking for, and blocking her from finding the information very easily. But Cole is a just clever kid, and she finds another way. She uses her ingenuity to investigate further, and a chilling sense of paranoia just begins to creep into the story, where we see that Cole notices Diane's acting more controlling, even over smaller details like when she goes to the bathroom or what she eats. Diane's overprotectiveness just begins to feel more like an imprisonment to her right now, because everything she's watching over, and it's just kind of having a very burden and pressure on Cole. And Cole's cleverness and resourcefulness just shines, showing the audience that she won't back down easily at any cost. She pretends to need a trip to the movies actually with her mother, but instead heads to the pharmacy. We see the when by the excuse of movie, she just is brought to the pharmacy, and once there she just learns the truth when she consults the person that is present at the desk of that pharmacy lab or the pharmacy store, that trigoxin is not a drug meant for humans. It's a veterinary medication for dogs, and it is just used to treat the leg pain. So Cole realizes that Diane has been just administrating the drug to her, likely as a part of a very sinister, very darker plot to keep her ill and dependent on herself. And we see now this is the truth that she's learned, especially about the drug part, and she just get more suspicious and more investigative right now to find out what's behind, what is the motive of a so-called mother Diane behind this all this sinister and very much, I think, hateful activities. So Cole's determination to find answers just lead her to take dangerous risk. One chilling sequence just involves Cole just crawling out of her wheelchair and down a flight of stairs to access a phone. And the physical struggle, I mean, is just very excruciating to watch. I think you can just feel the pain for her and symbolizing Cole's growing awareness of how Diane has just stifled her independence and make her dependent on herself. However, just Diane just catches her before she can even complete the call, so making it very difficult for her to do anything on her own. The scene is actually, I think, sets a very darker tone for the movie and is very much harrowing display of the Cole's willpower and Diane's increasing desperation to maintain the control to control the everything related to Cole. And now Cole's pain is just palpable, that is both physically as well as emotionally, because she just begins to piece together the horrifying truth. Meanwhile, Diane's calm demeanor just starts to crack, revealing the dark lengths she is willing to go. And now Diane just tries to tighten her control, manipulating Cole into believing that he is just overreacting or thinking too much about the thing. And but Cole just grows more certain that her mother is hiding something. And in very particular tense scene, we see that she discovers newspaper clippings and documents in Diane's room that just reveal a very horrifying truth. So there are many of the newspaper clippings there, many of the articles there, and the scene we actually see at the start of the movie where we see the character of Diane in the hospital and there is one baby that is present in front of them. So we actually come to know that the Cole was not Diane's biological child. So Diane just kidnapped Cole as a baby after losing her own child shortly after birth. So this is the actual loophole of the plot twist in the movie. So it is very advent to us that it is very strange because she just making her dependent on her, I mean. So there is, I think, many of the room for us audience to think that what kind of people do exist in this world to do such kind of a weird activity, that just kidnapping anyone else's child. And we see that clipping, there was one couple and there is the headline that this couple's baby is just missing from them and they just run out from that hospital. So this is from where I think the character title of the movie just goes the run. So it is very advertent that, so she gets now very terrified, frightened, and don't know actually what to do at the same time, because now it is just stick into her mind that this is all the final thing that she is, because I think she will not leave after that, because as soon as the thing is revealed to Diane, she will just try to kill the Cole itself. So now fully aware of Diane's twisted control, Cole just plans and escapes, and she fakes compliance, pretending to just believe Diane's reassurances, all while secretly plotting her next move. However, Diane catches it onto the Cole's defiance, and in one particularly shocking moment, we see that Diane just drugs Cole's, rendering her unconscious and helpless. So the power dynamic actually between them just shifts drastically in the act, where we see the Cole's resilience is tested, and while Diane's action just grows more erratic and violent at the same time. The house, once that stands for a place of safety, now becomes a prison, with Diane just locking away, and she's not having any chance of escape from that place. We see that Cole awakens in her bedroom and her wheelchair removed and the door locked. We see that Diane has just gone to greater lengths to ensure that she cannot escape from that thing at any cost. But we see that Cole's resourcefulness just shines through once again, and she manages to break a window and signal for help using a flashlight, and a passing millman just notices and come to her aid, but Diane just intercept between them because her car is behind them, and when they were trying to communicate with each other, she suddenly arrives and she just just try to, I think, get down the man there, the millman. So when the millman is down there, she just carries Cole again back to the home. This confrontation actually turns violent, and Diane just, I think, murders the mailman to maintain the secret, because she kind of stick the injection to his neck. So and he just fell down. At first sight, I thought that he's just down for a few seconds or maybe fell unconscious due to this attack. And the climax actually takes place in a hospital where Cole seeks refuge after escaping the Diane's clutches. We see that Diane, however, isn't far behind, disguising herself, and she sneaks into Cole's hospital room, so intent on her taking back to the house. The confrontation between the mother and the daughter is really explosive, and It involves both physical and emotional tension at the same time. So the Cole confronts Diane with the all pain and the betrayal that she has endured all this time, all this year, without knowing that even she was not her biological mother. So that's just very deepening and heartbreaking for her to even think it as a whole. And demanding to know why Diane has done this to her, the hospital setting just heightens the tension as the Diane just uses uh, her cunning memory, her brain to just evade the security. So Cole's bravery is on the full display here as she refuses to let Diane control her anymore. And the emotional stakes are even higher, making the confrontation feel like a battle or Cole's souls. Diane's response is just chilling at the same time. She insists that everything she has done was out of love to protect Cole and keep her safe. I don't know how even she managed to say this kind of bluffer things because that does not make any kind of sense. And her delusion and desperations are just palpable. So we see that Cole just refuses to believe her actually. I mean, anyone would not believe on such baseless statement. And in a very moment of defiance, Cole just follows a chemical to force the hospital staff to intervene, ensuring that Diane just cannot take her away. So we see that, and even the nurse arrive in between. And after the nurse arrives, that is that. So we see that the conversation between the nurse and the Coles takes place. So she is not actually able to speak, and she's little unconscious, lying on the bed. And there is a paper near them. So she just tries a three letter on the paper, that is the word mom. She just write there, and after when she's gone from there because she's taken by the character of the Diane. So we see that that is read by the nurse, and she even gets some idea that something is wrong between the mother and daughter relationship. So this actually kind of just highlight that everything is not fit. I mean, the everything you see is not right actually, and you need to dig deeper into uh, every detail of the character of the movie to find out what it is. And at the final act of the moment, we actually see that when she was trying to take Cole away, and apparently I don't know from where she has gone with herself, and she was standing at the top of the staircase in that building. We can see that first of all I thought that she was gonna just push Cole away or something like that, or something stupid activity she's gonna do, but I was right actually, because she did not push Cole actually, but she just fell from there, I think, without any assistant, and she just died on the spot. Not actually died, she was very severely injured right there. And even the staff and I think cops were following them from behind. And we see that Cole is now relaxed as she's just lying in front of her and in a very injured state. So the film jumps forward several years right now, where we see it actually after 7 years, showing that Cole has just reclaimed her independence, and she now lives on her own, confidently navigating life in her wheelchair. And this is a very stark contrast to the dependent life Diane forced upon herself once upon a time, years back. So Cole has just clearly thrived, clearly become more confidence, and she, despite the trauma she endured, and her resilience is the evident. However, Cole's connection to Diane has not been entirely severed, and in the final scene, we see that Cole visits Diane, who is just now confined to a very correctional facility. We see that she is lying in bed, and she has aged. I think we can see that when she is lying on the bed, and Cole just confronts her mother one last time, revealing that she has kept all the medication Diane once used to control her. So this is kind of giving all her back at a time. And in a very chilling moment, Cole just explains that she has the power now, turning the tables on a former abuser that has abused her for several years. So this is how the movie ends. And I think the final interaction just highlight how deeply Diane's action just impacted Cole, not only on the physical level but emotionally and psychologically too. And it also shows the Cole's victory, and she refuses to let Diane define her life anymore, not define her anymore, and reclaiming both her physical freedom and emotional dependence. And the ending, I think, just leaves viewers with a very blend of closure and uneasiness, because Cole has escaped Diane's clutches and built a life of her own, and continued visits to Diane suggest that the trauma of her upbringing just lingers all the time, and it's a very nuanced conclusion that just reflects the complicated aftermath of abuse. While Cole is free, but still she carries the scars of Diane's manipulation that is just haunting her for, I think, for whole of her life. So I think the run 2020 just ends on a very note of empowerment. So Cole's journey from very controlled and dependent life to one of the independence and strength just serves as a very inspiring reminder of the resilience, I think. So I think the film was really nice, and when the story tried to build up, because we don't see many of the character in the movies, and the movie is just very minimalistic, simple writing, nothing sort of fancy, and a very actually good thriller. I was expecting that some kind of dark thing, or really a kind of very horror gritty element. We see that maybe introduced in the film, but it was not actually. It turned out to be the plot twist which we have explained earlier, so that the biological mother won. So actually it was good. So film is definitely one time watchable, and not much of the flaws are there in the film, but and it's a very I think tight pacing film and very minimalistic setting it is having, and I think the psychological tension just keep the audience engaged throughout. And director Chagenti, I think, masterfully crafts a story that is as much as about psychological warfare, because it also involves the physical survival thing in this movie we can see, and the performance by Sarah Paulson, who plays the mother, and the Kiara Allen just elevate the story, making the characters emotional feel raw, authentic, and just deepening each and every scene they have done together. So I think it was really great film and very great thriller indeed, that just keeps viewers on the edge of their seat. If you like such thrillers, do like, share, and subscribe Cinema Shadows for more. Thank you for watching.